Hello and welcome back to my channel. Today I have my January wrap up to film with you, and I did read 10 books in the month of January. I do have a few stats to share that I wrote down in my bullet journal here. My average rating was 3.75. I read 1 2-star, 2 3-stars, 3 3.5 stars, 1 4-star, and 3 5-stars. And then I do have also a breakdown of how I read those books. And I'm going to try to really keep track of that this year. So I have 6 audio, 4 ebook, and 1 physical. And the ebook and physical are like doubled because I did read reminders of him through ebook and physically. And my page count that I have here is 2,212. I read 1 thriller book, 2 horror, 7 romance books. I own 2, and I read from 2 BIPOC authors. And then obviously the rest of those were from the library. And I hauled a good amount of books in January, so you will see that. I bought a lot from Pango Books and a couple from the bookstore. So I will just go in with what I read. Pretty sure that is all the stats and everything that I have. So I did start off the month with participating in Winterween and finished 2 books then. The first book was Look What You Made Me Do. That was my first book of the year, and I actually got this book from the library randomly, and I had like no clue what it was about. It's by Elaine Murphy, and I just saw the word, I just saw that the main character's sister was a serial killer, and that's all I really needed to know about it. I rated this book a 3 stars, and honestly, I barely remember anything about it now, so that's why, I'm glad I did rate it a 3-star because it just wasn't really memorable. And for it being a serial killer book where her sister is a serial killer, like, you would just think it would be a little bit more exciting. I'm not sure if it was just like in a slump more or what it was about it, but Carrie, she is the sister, and she just wants kind of like a normal life and, to have a relationship and have a house and just have a normal life. But her sister, Becca, ends up killing people and then asking her for help. And they find out that there is another serial killer living in their town because a body is discovered in their town that is not from her sister. And basically, since she's been killing people, since Carrie has been killing people, she has always had Becca help cover up the evidence and everything, so they know that that body and those other bodies that are also found are not from their killings. And it basically goes from there. I don't want to give away too much, but Carrie does have a lot of like anxiety about getting caught, because even though she didn't actually commit the murders and her sister Becca really like blackmailed her to help her out, she just is in a tough situation. And that's all I really have to say about that. Like I said, 3 stars. If you are interested, maybe pick it up and you will have a better experience with it. But I don't know, I just felt a little bit bored with it for some reason. And then next book I read was also 3 stars, and that was The Shuttering by Anya Alborn. I saw this on Gabby's Winterween, and she said like, oh, that was so good and everything. And to me, it was still just 3 stars. And it was about like a group of friends in their family cabin, and it's getting ready to be sold. So they have this like one last get together and to go ski and be in the cabin and just have fun. And then there's these like monster creatures around that aren't even really described, or I don't know. They're these monster creatures that kill people basically. And that's basically all it is. I was really surprised that Gabby liked this book because I thought that it was more of like a slasher style of book. I guess it was a pretty fun time, but again, just not for me. So those were the 2 books that I read for Winterween. Hopefully Summerween will be better for me. And then I ended up reading some, did I read romances the rest of the month? Yes. No. I have one more thriller that was also a disappointment. But so hopefully if I do read a thriller, which I do hope to read some thrillers in February, they will be good. So the rest, let me see how I'm going to do this. Let me just get the other thriller out of the way, or horror. And it is Voices in the Snow by Darcy Coates. I gave that 2-star. I really hate to be like so negative towards the thrillers that I read, but I just didn't really enjoy them. Voices in the Snow is about this, like, honestly, it's like a series, so maybe in the second or other books it will get more explained, but basically there's something going on in the world. The main character tries to go to her aunt, who is pretty far away, and gets trapped in the snow. Somebody finds her that lives in this big mansion, and then it goes from there. It had a lot of like romance elements in it, and I just didn't really, maybe the whole book went over my head. I don't know. I read this one ebook, and every time I picked it up, I was like, I do not understand this book. Like, what is this book trying to do? So maybe it will get more in depth in the rest of the series or something, but I didn't understand what was happening to the world, just that it was extremely icy and snowy and cold, and I didn't understand like the love story that was happening or something. And then in this mansion that she went to with this random guy, she was trying to escape a few times and couldn't escape, and then she saw like a woman creature or something in there. I don't know. I probably gave away too many spoilers, so I will probably put like a warning here that I probably gave away too many spoilers, but I just didn't know what this book was doing. And like I said, maybe it was going over my head. If you've read this and you liked it, like, why? Maybe I just need to watch some reviews on it or something. I just don't understand why people like this book. I do not recommend it for like a winter thriller, even though the cover is absolutely giving you like a really good winter thriller vibe. And then next is all of the romances that I read. So I did read part of a series. I'm not sure what the series is called, but the first book is The Marriage Game by Sarah Desai. I gave this a 3-star, and it is her father is trying to arrange a marriage for her and sets up like 10 prospects for her. And then also she just moved back home as well, and is going to be using an office that her father has at the top of their restaurant, but he also rented it out to somebody else. So it's kind of like an enemies to lovers, because they're like workplace, because they're in like the office there. And also she goes out and goes on all of these dates because she was like, well, I might as well just give these picks a try if my father picked them out, and either prove him wrong that I don't like these people, or maybe find somebody. And like I said, I gave that 3 stars. I did really enjoy it. And then the dating plan, I enjoyed a little bit more, so I did give that a 4-star. And this is a ex-best friends to lovers, because he did leave her at prom, and then he comes back into her life. So it's like a second chance kind of romance situation as well, and it was pretty good. And like I said, I did like it a little bit more than the second book, and I do plan on giving, I believe the third book is out now, and I do plan on giving that one a try. I think it's called The Singles Table. I think it's part of the series, or it might be just a standalone book, but overall I did enjoy those two, so I do want to give that author some more chances. I don't really want to say chances. I just want to try more books from that author. And then next I read Games We Play by Dana Isley, and I also read Secrets We Hunt. Games We Play is like a gamer, it's like a kind of, these books are more of like smutty novellas, but this is a gamer, and the woman goes and interviews is him, and he leaves his mask on, and it goes from there. And then I gave that a 3 stars, and then Secrets We Hunt I liked a little bit more. I gave it a 3.5, and I might even bump it up to a 4-star now that I'm even more thinking about it more. It is a ex-best friends to lovers situation. I guess I read a couple of those this month, but she disappeared this time whenever they were 18, she just kind of walked out of his graduation party to never see him again. And the main character, Guy, finds her at the wedding of the first couple's book. And then they reconnect there at the wedding on the yacht. And then let me see what is next here. Reminders of Him by Colleen Hoover. This book came out on the 18th of January, I believe, and I really loved it. Obviously, I cried like a baby. Yeah, so good. I didn't really get into it too much until around the halfway mark, I would say, because I was just like wondering what was just like where the book was going, but it had letters in it, which I absolutely love books with letters in them. And it was just such a good book. If you do not know what this book is about, it is about Kenna, and she just got out of jail for murdering somebody, and she was pregnant in jail, and so she goes back to her hometown and just tries to figure out what to do with her life and how to see her daughter. And then she meets Ledger, who is the owner of a bar there, and the story just goes from there of her trying to, work on her life and see her daughter again. And I just, Colleen Hoover, she makes you cry. And it's not really too much of a romance. It is more of like a woman's fiction and just a story of her life and Ledger's life. But that didn't bother me too much at all, that it wasn't like a normal romance format, because I still really enjoyed it. And like I said, I did cry a good bit at the end. And then 2 other books that I read. So that Reminders of Him was obviously a 5-star, and then the last 2 books of the month that I read were also 5 stars. So that's where my 3 5-stars came from. I read The Initiation by Nikki Salone, and then also The Obsession by Nikki Salone. This is part of a series, and I do have the other 2 books waiting for me to read soon, hopefully. And this is not a companion series. It goes from one book, and you have to jump right into that second book. And this world is like, maybe it's because it's my first billionaire kind of romance. It's called the Filthy Rich American series, but this world is just crazy to me. And just the romance in it, I'm just really intrigued in it. I don't know. But I really enjoyed it. I don't want to say too much about it because I don't want to give too much away, but it is a arranged marriage kind of situation. And obviously in the first book there at the end is an initiation that you will find out, and she has to really be approved by everybody in the man's life to marry her. And she was not even originally meant to marry him. It was supposed to be her older sister, but plans changed. So I don't want to even go into too much about the second book, but there is a cliffhanger at the first book, but the second book goes immediately into it, so you don't miss too much. And I'm really glad that it ended my month with those, and I'm really liking Nikki Salone. Cannot wait to read more books by her, and definitely want to finish that series very, very soon. So thank you so much for watching this January wrap-up. I really appreciate you being here and hearing me talk about all of these books. Like I said, I am so sorry that I didn't really like those mystery and thrillers this month, but sometimes you just have those months where you don't really like, a certain genre, even though you're trying. And that was January. I was like, okay, I'm done with mystery thrillers for a while, horror for a while, because all 3 of those were just a dud to me. I know there's good ones. I have read good ones out there, but those ones, I just don't really too much recommend unless you do want to try Look at What You Made Me Do. So thank you so much for hearing me rant about those, and I hope you are having a great year so far. Like and subscribe if you like this kind of content, and have a great day or night whenever you're watching. Bye!